Namaste. This week we've been focused on elements. At the beginning of the week, we talked about June and the solar eclipse being the ring of fire, and how to stoke and reclaim some inner fire. We talked about the element of air yesterday with our gentle and restorative yoga because the solar eclipse was in Gemini, and Gemini is an air sign. But we are moving after the summer solstice coming up this weekend. We'll be moving into the sign of Cancer. The sign of Cancer is about the element of water. So it's one of the water signs. Water signs tend to be intuitive, imaginative. Um, they tend to be sensitive. They tend to feel a lot and therefore sometimes can be exaggerated or too emotional, sometimes dramatic. So we'll be moving into our yin practice today. Yin practice is about the element of water. Yin ties in with the moon ties in with water because it affects the tides of the ocean. The water element is also associated with emotions. So if you ever have dreams and it has water in it, the water represents emotions. Emotions that are either resurfacing, emotions that need perhaps an outlet, or you may just be feeling, emotional at that time. Now, if you think of the alchemaic symbol of fire, for instance, it's the triangle. I talk about the triangle being the sign of transformation because it represents fire, and fire represents transformation. The alchemaic symbol for water is like the inverse of that symbol. So it's the triangle pointed downward. So if you think about the triangle pointed downward, it looks like a cup. So for instance, in the tarot, if you were drawing tarot cards, the cup would represent this element of water. What else do I want to say about that? This element shows up in Chinese philosophy, Greek philosophy, and Indian philosophy. And when we mention water tying in with the yin practice, if you think about the yin practice, it's a lot of forward folds. It concentrates more on the low back and the hips. And in this area of the body, it's related back to the element of water. So we're going to be working on some hip openers today. Let me get this set up here. And I will meet you on the mat. Bring it. Okay. All right, so we're going to first start in a comfortable seat, just to do a little pranayama. Since water is also a cooling element, we're going to do the Sitali pranayama, which is a cooling breath. If you know how to curl your tongue and take it through the opening of the mouth, you can create that. If you don't know how to curl the tongue, you're just going to part the lips and breathe in as though you were whistling by drawing the breath into the mouth. This is a great breath to do if you have hot flashes. It's a great breath to do if you're out on a really hot day or if you're getting overheated, just to cool yourself down. So let's sit up nice and tall and take some diaphragmatic breaths first. The diaphragmatic breath is breathing in and out through the nose. Surfing the wave of the breath as it rolls from the belly up to the chest. Back down again. And then we'll part the lips to curl the tongue. And we'll be breathing in through the mouth and breathing out through the nose. Obviously, since it concerns the mouth, I can't talk you through it. So if you need to watch the yogi, that's fine. 3 more Satali breaths. Close the lips, take a swallow, and breathe. And then gently open up the eyes. Since this is yin flow, we're going to add in just a little bit of action today with our passive poses. So I'm going to remove the props from the mat. You can do so as well. We're going to start standing. Standing at the top of the mat, grounding the soles of the feet, taking the arms up overhead, lacing the hands together to temple mudra. Firm the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, curve to the right. Making Chandrasana shape with your body. Since the moon ties in with the element of water. Inhale, rise up. 2 lines of energy, and then exhale, curve it to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, come down straight through the middle. And we're going to hold dangling pose. So dangling is the yin form of Uttanasana. So the knees are bent. You can have as much of a generous knees as you desire. However, if they're super deep, it's more like child's pose. So find somewhere in between the two. It's okay to loosen the neck as you hang the head. It's okay to wiggle the shoulders so they can loosely fall away from the back. You don't have to continue to root the feet down. They can rest lightly on your mat. Just trying to work out that tension in the back of the body. Not only is going to open up space in the low spine, it's not only going to work the hamstrings, but it's going to open up the connective tissue, the fascia. It's also going to open up the urinary bladder meridian, one of the main energetic channels. And of course, think about urinary tract, urinary bladder meridian. Right? That concerns the element, you got it, of water. Clasp hold of your arms for the last few breaths. See what extra component that brings into this pose. On your next in-breath, step your left foot back, lunge the right knee, and pulsate here. Lifting the hips on the inhale, dropping them down on the exhale. And then turn and plant your back foot to the floor. Lift and float your hands up. Straighten that right leg. Extend the arms out. Lengthen over the right thigh. Windmill down to Trikonasana. The triangle pose. We're going to take the top arm over. Breathe into the left side body. And then we're going to take the arm down. We're going to take it back past the hip. Back up towards the heavens. Thread it behind the back. Turn the gaze up over the shoulder if that's okay for your mind, for your ears. Does it cause any dizziness or lightheadedness? Now turn your gaze down. Lunge that front knee, land your left hand. We're going to go into the Soma lunge, turning the right foot, rolling to the outer edge of it. Now you can stay on the ball of the back foot or you can flip to the outer edge of the foot. Soma lunge. Again, this correlates back to the moon element. That ties in with the water element. Now, spin back down, step into plank. Exhale, sink your knees, fold back to child's. You take child's pose, pause. Breathe up and down the back as if you were trying to use that watery wave-like sensation of the breath to smooth out any rough edges. Just like a stone that has been pelted into the water, flows down the river, down through the waterfalls, and cascades enough through the water that it smooths out like a river stone. Most of you know my father was a Southern gospel preacher, and I had 3 older sisters, and they were very conservative and very strict. By the time my rebellious spirit came around, being the 4th one in line, I don't know if it was time, if it was experience, if it was exhaustion, but whatever it was, they became less and less strict, right? They weren't as rigid. They started to smooth out, get a little bit more well-rounded. All right, on your next in-breath, rock up to an upward facing dog, and you're gonna roll down to the brow. Lengthen the leg bones back, glue the feet to the floor. Inhale, roll up, Bhujangasana. Exhale, take it back down. Be water-like. Inhale. Exhale. Continue. Two more. This time roll it up. Exhale, rock and roll back, downward facing dog. Setting the feet hip distance apart. Pressing through the palms of the hands, shining the sits bones upward. And when you're ready, traveling the feet forward, returning to dangling pose. Hang like a rag doll at first. Knees with a generous bend. Notice how we're hinging from the hips. The place in the body that ties back to any suppressed, pent up emotion. Maybe crisscross the arms the other way. Typically feeling slightly awkward, not as natural. In case you don't remember how you crossed them, experiment, and you'll probably be able to easily discover from that point. Breathing in and out through the nose, but exaggerating or elongating that exhalation. When you're ready, step the right foot back. Pulsate here, lifting on the inhale, sinking down on the exhale. Turn and plant your right foot down, float your hands up, and get ready for triangle pose. Spreading the arms, lengthen out over the left leg. And when you're ready, windmill down. Taking that top arm over the ear. Lowering the arm down to point towards the floor. Take it back past the hip. Elevate it back up. Maybe gaze up. Thread the arm behind your back. Turning the drishti down. Releasing the back hand to land it to the floor. Spin away from, or spin to the outer edge of the left foot. Maybe outer edge of the back foot for the Soma lunge. Keep shining up to the left hand. Come back down to the regular lunge. Step back to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Line your body up correctly. Inhale, left leg lifts. Take downward scorpion. Scorpion being another water sign, along with Pisces, along with Cancer. Bring that left knee forward, slide your right leg back. Now let's take a swan. Stop at any degree in the fold. And you can always bring in props. And if swan is not the best choice, remember you can take deer pose, or you can take the variation on your back with the left ankle crossed over the right knee. Inhale it, slowly rise. Plant the palms, curl the back toes. Step it back, downward facing dog. When you're ready, shine the right leg up. Take downward scorpion briefly. And prepare for swan next. Very similar to pigeon. Find your edge. And then get quiet and contemplative. Becoming quiet and contemplative and having these moments where we're tapping in can help to heighten our intuitive guidance. I mentioned air being about adaptability. That's also true for the water element. Being able to take the shape of any container. On your next inhalation, gently start to build up. Bring the left leg out in front of you, and we'll cross the right leg over it for half shoelace. So you can lace your hands underneath the right knee to start with, or you can extend it up overhead. As you exhale, begin to tumble forward. The hands can separate, and you can bow out over your lap. You're draping down, raining down. Think of it being watery, fluid, pouring And since yin ties in with the element of water and water ties back in with the emotions, yin is said to be an emotional detox for the body. Soften the elbows. Your body allows you to drip more and go deeper. Even if it's just a smidge. Calmly patient, patiently calm. Even as sensation continues to erupt. Think of your breath as washing over and through you, cleaning and clearing any emotional debris. Inhale slowly back up. Lean to your left hip, slide your left foot in towards the right. And you're going to slowly release. We started the sequence with the emphasis under the left leg. And now that we've crossed into the second position of the sequence, you'll find that it concentrates more in the right hip. This is the full shoelace pose. Stay calmly active, actively calm. Notice how dense or tightly woven some of this connective tissue may be. Yours may be loose, open, and free. Just pay attention to your body's response.
If your body tenses up, you may be doing too much, or it may just be a reminder to breathe. Inhale will slowly back away. We'll slide the left foot out. Try to double stack the shins, the ankles, the knees, and then tip forward. Take your time coming into the pose. Remember, we're not as structured with yin. We're doing the yin approach for this pose today. So we're not having to necessarily dorsiflex the feet. They can be somewhat relaxed. With this double fire log or double pigeon, you can feel sensation arriving, pulsing in both hips. Take the reins of your breath. You probably need it to assist you more than ever in this pose. Since this is the more challenging pose of this sequence. Inhale it slowly back up. Lean back into the hands. Whew, that's intense. Hammock pose, flipping the feet in and out, in and out. Maybe bouncing the knees up and down. And we'll come back up. Half shoelace, right leg straight, left knee bent. You can have the hands here. I prefer this just to help to extend the vertebrae. And then exhale, pour down over your legs. I'm doing this super early in the morning, so the fascia is especially tight at this time of day. If you do it later on in the day, you may have more flexibility just because you've been moving already. Inhale, we'll slowly unfurl the back, let the head roll up last. Lean towards your right hip for double shoelace. Entering in your pace. Notice, what are you storing in your hips? This time of the year, this eclipse energy is about purging out the old that's resurfacing. So each and every time you take a breath, imagine on the exhalation, you're washing and rinsing out any toxins, any stress, any tension, any fatigue or illness away. Each and every time you breathe out, imagine you're washing and rinsing any toxins, stress or tension, fatigue or illness away. Patiently calm, calmly patient. Inhale, slowly back away. Oh my goodness. I've been sick and I have been on bed rest. And I've been slowly doing just a little bit of yoga this week, but it's been very gentle. So this seems very intense to me today. Whew. But I have to say, I'm very proud of my teens. I just heard my teens leave the house to get up this early in the morning to go run. That's not normal. Maybe this is a new beginning for them. So tune in and check in with your body. Make sure that you're not holding your breath. Remember, air supports water as well as fire. Like your breath supports pliability that we're trying to gain in the hips. Bringing in a new flow of energy. And breathing out what is stale and stagnant away. Calmly active, actively calm. The action is maintaining your breath, level of focus. Allowing the focus to maintain your presence. The now moment. So there are some endings and new beginnings. I just read an article. This is a silly example, but it's an example, still the same. But Victoria's Secret released a statement. There was an article saying the time of their angels are no longer culturally appropriate. They're going to bring in activists in different shapes and types of women to support their label or to represent their label. That's a huge thing. I mean, it's a little thing, right? Because it just represents a brand. But wow, think of how that has kind of created what Americans consider to be sexy. I don't know. I think it's a cool thing that they're going to be changing it up. It's going to be interesting to see what else unfolds through this time. Things getting revamped, revisited, reinvented. Releasing out the stagnant, the stale, the old. Inviting in the new. Adaptability, part of the water element. Whew. Inhale, bring it up. Hammock. Flip-flopping the feet, bouncing the knees. All right. You can bring in your bolster for this instead of block, or you can bring a block if that's your preference. Quick twist before we do that. Lift your feet off the floor so your knees slightly tuck in, and then send the knees over to the left. Oh, get some good pops in the back. Arms wide open, but the eyes can be closed. Knees draw to center, and then over to the right. Open the channel of your breath. Just like a dam would open to release the flood of water. Draw the knees in, take a quick hold. So obviously there's a lot of hip openers. We're just gonna stick with that today. Now, this final position is actually a little bit more restorative, where we bend the knees, tuck and lift, like a supported bridge. Obviously, you can be here if that's best for you, but I'm going to extend the legs out and rest on the heels and send the arms up overhead. So it's kind of like a blend between bridge and the yin form of Shavasana. And this is going to be our final resting pose today. Breathe in the air element. Now opening up the front side of the body that correlates to the stomach meridian. Breathing out and away any toxins, any stress or tension, any illness or fatigue away. Let your breath bridge the external to the internal round. Just like air can be a bridge to water or to fire. Just breathe. Go ahead and inhale, bend the knees if they're not already. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. And then draw the thumbs up to the brow, to the third eye. Affirming here as you hold. I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. Now press into the soles of the feet, tuck and lift. Move the prop, roll down to the vertebrae, hug the knees in, Apanasana. Nice counter. Also good for the low back and hips. It correlates to the second chakra, which ties in with the element of water. Let's roll it to one side. Prop ourselves up. Taking a seat. Aligning the spine. Closing the eyes. Water is about cleansing. It's purifying. You know, whenever you have an emotional or stressful day, consider taking a shower in the evening. And when the water is raining down upon you, think of it clearing you, not just your outer body, not just your aura, your energetic field, but all of you. Your mind, your body, your spirit. As the water pours down the drain, imagine it's carrying away with it anything that you're unloading, anything that you're releasing. Anything you need to let go of. To have a good and productive night of sleep. Join your hands out of prayer position at your heart. The light in me honors and respectfully bows to the beautiful, radiant light within each of you.